Does the season finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man properly set up the next couple of seasons? In more ways than one. Welcome to Haynes for Heroes, I'm Alex Haynes, and if it's a movie or TV show about superheroes, you know I'm all over it. And I'm all over breaking down this 2-episode season finale of this absolutely incredible Spider-Man series, so let's just swing right into it. Spoilers ahead. Let's first talk about how in these final episodes we see Peter becoming a true version of Spider-Man. And it starts off in episode 9 where Spider-Man shows up in his classic red and blue suit, and oh my gosh, it just looks so beautiful. And more importantly, it's the first thing of Spider-Man's that's really his, and it's not influenced by Norman Osborn in any way. But Spider-Man faces his first test when he comes across the 110th Street gang robbing an Oscorp truck that's carrying all of Doc Ock's weapons. And to make matters worse, Scorpion and his gang show up and try to kill everyone. And Spider-Man's lightweight afraid to fight Scorpion because the last time they fought, Scorpion almost murdered him. And Norman Osborn's words are just haunting his memories, saying that the only reason Scorpion almost killed him is because Spider-Man wasn't doing enough. He was holding himself back. And for a brief moment during their fight, Spider-Man starts letting Norman's words get to him, and he starts pummeling Scorpion. It's getting to a point where it's lightweight scary. I was honestly worried we were going to get something similar to what happened in the Superior Spider-Man comics, where Spider-Man, whose body was under the control of Doc Ock, used his full strength and punched the jaw off the Scorpion, nearly killing him. And with the words of Norman echoing in his head, and with the trauma from fighting Scorpion in the previous episode, he takes his tail and he's about to impale the dude. But thankfully, Lonnie Lincoln, who now has powers, was able to catch the tail, and he stops Spider-Man from killing Scorpion, telling him not to stoop down to his level and be the hero that everyone in the city looks up to. And this scene is a lot like the scene in Spider-Man No Way Home, where Tom Holland's Spider-Man was about to impale the Green Goblin with his glider, but Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man catches it and stops him. And thanks to Lonnie, Spider-Man was able to realize that he doesn't want to be like Norman Osborn, using his power to get respect. He wants to use his power responsibly and be a hero instead of a menace. But now that we know what kind of hero Spider-Man wants to be, what kind of hero does Lonnie Lincoln or Tombstone want to be? Or does he even want to be a hero? At this point in the series, Lonnie, or more accurately Tombstone, is all about the gang life. He is 100% loyal to them, and he's willing to do mostly anything to show his support. But during the massive fight between the Scorpion gang and Spider-Man, the gang leader Big Don loses his nerves and he just bails on everybody. So Tombstone has no choice but to step up as the new leader. And to give his gang the upper hand in this fight, Tombstone breaks into the Oscorp truck, accidentally breaking open a canister of experimental gas, and this gas gives him superpowers. Superpowers like strength, durability, and even some agility. Tombstone uses these powers to team up with Spider-Man to help take down Scorpion, and the two of them work really well together. But what's more interesting is that even though Scorpion is the leader of a rival gang, Tombstone still shows mercy towards him by saving him from Spider-Man, and reminding Spider-Man that he is not about that killer life. This alone shows that Tombstone has all the qualities of being a great hero. After the battle, Tombstone officially becomes the leader of the 110th Street gang, and the skin on his hands are starting to turn white from the experimental gas, meaning he's slowly transforming into the classic look of Tombstone. It's still not known if he's going to be a full-fledged villain or not, just because he has so many great qualities about himself. There is a possibility that he could reform the 110th Street gang into being a vigilante group instead of a criminal group, but only time will tell. Another character who could potentially become a hero later on in the series is Nico Minoru. Since finding out that Peter was Spider-Man, Nico has been really upset with him about keeping secrets from her, but now we know that that's not really the case. She's really angry because she's the one that's been keeping secrets from him, and it all involves that medallion that she wears. See, Nico has this magic medallion that helps her in dangerous situations, like how it helped her win that street race, or how she was attempting to use it from getting hit by that Oscorp truck before Spider-Man saved her. And in episode 10, we see her using the medallion to perform a seance, which allows her to communicate with the spirit of her mother, or at least she believes it's her mother. This shows Nico's innate magical abilities and potentially sets her up to becoming the superhero Sister Grimm. If Nico really is communicating with her mom during this seance, I'm quite positive that that is not a good thing. Because in the comic books, Nico's parents are actually evil sorcerers who are part of this supervillain group, so not good role models. So far in this universe, Nico's parents appear to be deceased, but it's quite possibly that they're secretly hiding in the shadows, waiting to come claim her. Speaking of parental figures who are secretly evil, Norman Osborn was acting a fool in this finale, because we see Norman Osborn visiting Doc Ock in prison, and he just starts talking all kinds of mess to him. He starts bragging about how successful he's been at Oscorp and how he's legally stealing all of Octavius's inventions and planning on using them for Oscorp. Like, this is the first time we get a look at what Norman Osborn truly is as a person. And then later on, Norman has a secret meeting with his researchers at Oscorp, talking about how tests for the glider were successful. The same glider that was used to rescue Spider-Man from Scorpion. Ooh, we're getting closer to seeing the Green Goblin! Norman and his team also discuss the blood that they stole from Spider-Man, and how they plan on using that blood to create more spider people that are loyal to Oscorp. Norman stealing Peter's blood is just a complete betrayal of his trust, but Norman doesn't care, he's a billionaire, they do that. And to add icing onto the cake, Norman stole the ideas of all the projects that the interns made in order to create a portal to outer space. Everyone, of course, is disgusted and afraid, except for Cho, who already knew that Norman was doing this. But they all warned Norman about the potential consequences of opening a portal to space, and even Doctor Strange appears and threatens him to not do that. Unfortunately, Norman is on sicko mode at this point, and he orders his guards to attack Doctor Strange, and he turns on the portal anyway, releasing that symbiote creature that we see in the first episode. Speaking of symbiotes, what do you think of this Venom shirt? Would you like one yourself? Then click on the link in the description below and head to Super X, where you can get not just Venom, but other superhero athletic wear. And if you find something you like, make sure you use this code to get 10% off your purchase. So now the symbiote monster is released, and pay really close attention to this next part, because this is where the series gets really weird, but in a cool way. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man team up to fight the symbiote monster, but it's really powerful and it's causing a lot of damage. And in the destruction, an experimental spider that was created using Spider-Man's blood was released. Doctor Strange attempts to use the Time Stone to defeat the symbiote monster, but it charges at him, causing them both to get sent back in time to the events of the first episode. And that sneaky little spider follows right behind them. So that means Doctor Strange, the symbiote monster, and the spider that we see in the very first episode are the same exact ones that we see in this finale. And this creates a really fun time paradox, because Spider-Man's blood was used to create the spider, and then the spider gets sent back in time to bite Peter, and then Peter becomes Spider-Man. So in a way, Spider-Man gives himself powers. Strange is able to bring the symbiote monster back to the lab all contained, and they have to try to close the outer space portal because a giant symbiote monster is trying to come through. And this giant symbiote monster is just like the final version of Venom that you fight in the Spider-Man Web of Shadows video game. That's such a cool reference. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are able to successfully close off the portal, but a piece of the symbiote monster is cut and left behind, and unfortunately is later found by Norman Osborn, who I guarantee will not use it for great things. So this all but confirms that we're eventually gonna get Venom in this series, and I cannot wait. But Venom isn't the only thing that this season finale is setting up for the future. For example, Nico gives Harry the idea of creating his own company, a place where scientists will be allowed to study whatever they want without the shady business intervention. And this company is called the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, or WEB. the same company that's used as the theme for the Spider-Man ride at California Adventures. And at one point we see a list of all the people that Harry is trying to recruit for Web, and not only does it include all the former Oscorp interns, but it also has new names like Max Dillon, who eventually becomes Electro, and Ned Leeds, who is Spider-Man's best friend in the MCU movies, but he also eventually becomes the Hobgoblin. So cool! We then find out Amadeus Cho rejects Web's offer because he has a permanent position at Oscorp's engineering department. And since Oscorp has access to all of Doc Ock's gamma-powered inventions, this could lead to Cho becoming the totally awesome Hulk. Speaking of Doc Ock, we get a look at him in his cell, creating the plans for his metal tentacles that will turn him into Dr. Octopus. But instead of 4 tentacles, there's 8 of them. Double the danger. But the biggest bombshell from this finale, and I have no idea where it's gonna go from here, is when Aunt May goes to a prison to visit an inmate, and that inmate is none other than Peter Parker's father. I still have so many questions from this reveal, like how is he even alive? Why is he in prison? Why is Aunt May keeping it a secret? Like, shoot, maybe he had something to do with Uncle Ben's death. Like, I don't know. But what I do know is that I need season 2 to just hurry up and arrive so I can get answers. Like, give it to me now. But what did you think of this season finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, shoot a web at the like button and then click on the boxes right here, and I'll see you in a bit.